Hey DIYers, George here from Alarm Grid. Today we're going to be going over whether or not the Honeywell Pro A7 Plus system, which is Honeywell's newest system, if it's compatible with the Pro 6 series sensors. So the quick and fast answer to this is yes. All the Pro 6 series sensors that are made were made specifically for the Honeywell Pro A7 Plus system. Honeywell, or otherwise now known as Resideo, when they came out with the Pro A7 Plus, they decided to make the Pro 6 series sensors, which is a different line of sensors that only works with the Pro A7 Plus right now. The sensors that came before that were just the normal 6 series sensors, which were intended to be used with the Honeywell Lyric. And then before that, before all the encryption, you had the normal 5800 series sensors, which use 345 megahertz. So as you see, technology evolves, so do a lot of the devices. So you have the 5800 minis, you have the 6 series, now you have the Pro 6 series. Now the Honeywell Pro A7 Plus, it is compatible with a bunch of different sensors. I'll get into that later on in the video, but for right now I just want to quickly touch base on some of the Pro 6 sensors that are available right now. In order for the alarm system to work with some of these sensors that are out, you need to make sure that the panel is on the latest firmware. There are some devices that require the panel to be updated. So just as a general practice, when you guys are activating the alarm system, you guys should have your monitoring company push down the newest firmware update. It's a free push directly from the server, so shouldn't cost you anything. Or you yourself, if you have the installer code to the system, you should be able to do your own firmware update as well. That'll bring the panel up to speed. Some of the devices that require the new firmware update are, for instance, the Pro 6 Heat, the Pro Repeater, and there's one other device. Basically, just do a firmware update on your system just to be safe. I have some Pro Series sensors here with me today. We have the Pro Series key fob. This one, before the old generation, you had the 6 fob, which was for the Lyric, and then you also had the 5834-4s, which were for the Honeywell Lynx panels or Vista panels, or for the Lyric as well. This would be the key fob you would use for your Pro A7 Plus. You can also use the 6 fob. You cannot use the 5834 with the Pro A7 Plus because those require house ID. So a couple of devices that you won't be able to use with the Pro A7 Plus are key fobs or life safety sensors from the 5800 series family. So keep that in mind. I'll touch base on it later on in the video. Some of the other sensors we have are new and improved door window sensors. We have the Pro 6 Mini right here, which is a bigger sensor, and the Pro 6 Mini 2, which is a second version of it. As you see, this one has a more sharper bezel, and the Pro 6 Mini 2 is kind of rounded off on the edges. The 6 Mini 2 is said to have a longer battery life, whereas typically these sensors will last you 2 to 3 years. This one is supposed to last 4 to 5 years, the battery. So keep that in mind. We also have, there's 2 keypads that are compatible with the Pro A7 Plus. This is just the normal push button keypad. As you see here, it's push button, has that little LCD display. And then the other one would be the touchscreen version that is compatible with the Pro A7 Plus. Pretty much it emulates the same screen as the panel instead of having these little push buttons here and a basic message on the main screen. One of the other devices I have here with me today is going to be your hardwired to wireless converter. These are for people who may have moved into a home that have existing wired sensors and you want to upgrade to something newer. With the Pro A7 Plus, you can do that with this little device right here. It allows you to connect wired sensors to it, so doors, windows, motion detectors, or glass breaks. No safety, no life safety sensors. So smoke detectors, CO detectors, heat detectors, or sirens will be able to be attached to this. Just doors, windows, motions, or glass break detectors. Anything that's a normally closed device. Yeah. Now there's a whole bunch of other Pro 6 series sensors that are out, like the Pro 6 series smoke. There's indoor and outdoor sirens you can get now. Before, some people would get Honeywell systems and they had an outdoor siren and they weren't able to use it because it was wired. Now, with the new Pro A7 Plus, you actually have the option to add a wireless outdoor siren, which is very nice. It has a little strobe light. Same thing, they have an indoor siren. They have Pro 6 smokes. I'm pretty sure they have a Pro 6 combo, which is a smoke CO and a heat detector as well. And the system, it supports 127 of the Pro 6 series sensors. Now, the system also supports 123 legacy sensors, and that's if you get the Pro Takeover module, which basically it's a second daughter board card that you put into the system that allows it to work with different sensors from other family or manufacturers. For instance, without that Pro Takeover module, the system out of the box, it only works with Pro 6 series sensors or normal 6 series sensors. If you want it to work with older Honeywell Legacy 5800 series, if you want it to work with 2 gig series sensors, not the encrypted ones, just the normal 2 gig, you can make it work with Interlogix or Qolsys 319.5 sensors, again, not the encrypted ones, just the normal ones. If you're using S-Line Qolsys sensors, those actually transmit at 319.5 as well. They just wouldn't use the S-Line encryption, which is rolling. You can use the 433 Bosch sensors and 433 megahertz DSC sensors as well, and that's if you have the Pro Takeover module, and you can use up to 123 of them. If you're using the Pro 6 series sensors, that would be 127. Also, the 6 series sensors, so the sensors that were originally made for the Honeywell Lyric, those sensors, when you use them with the Pro A7 Plus, they actually get a firmware update, and what it does is it allows them, I believe it turns them into Pro 6 series sensors. Now, the only catch is, if you guys decide to change your mind and reuse the Lyric, you cannot use those sensors anymore. So you can't backwards firmware degrade, I guess if you want to call it that. You can't do that on those sensors. So if you have 6 series sensors, you add them to the Pro A7 Plus, they'll get a firmware update, and from now on, they'll only work with the Pro A7 Plus. So keep that in your mind, just in case you have a Lyric, you're trying the Pro A7 Plus, and you're thinking about switching back. You won't be able to if you do that. Now, those 6 series sensors and the Pro 6 series sensors, those are going to use 127 zones on the panel, and the 123 zones can be your older legacy Honeywell, DSC, Bosch, 2 gig, Qolsys, Interlogix, and that would give you a total of 250 zones on the alarm system, which is a bunch of zones for anyone putting this system into their home or business. The one catch I had brought up earlier in the video was life safety sensors and key fobs. Life safety sensors will not work from an older legacy family. So if you're going to be doing smoke, CO detectors, heat detectors, or key fobs, you need to make sure you get the Pro 6 version of those detectors. So you might have to replace them in your case. All right. So this was just a quick video. I hope it helped you guys out figuring out what sensors are going to work with your Pro A7 Plus if you guys have one. Local programming is now available on the system as well. Some of you guys that out there were waiting for that. It's now available, so if you're waiting to get that Pro A7 Plus, now's the time. If you have any questions whatsoever about the system, send us an email to support@alarmgrid.com. If you found the video helpful, make sure you hit like underneath, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hit the little bell icon so whenever we upload new content, you guys get notified. I'm George, and I'll see you guys next time.